Okay, gonna do something a little bit different today. Some of you may know I'm a little bit of a rail enthusiast, and this was one game I had. I've actually still got it on PC DVD somewhere, but I saw this going reasonably affordably on Steam and thought, why not? As you can imagine, being a little bit biased here with regards to the railways, I'm going to start in England because it is the birthplace of the railways, and I'm just going to show you just how much fun this game is. Now, some of you may know, but for those who don't, to go through some of the basics. In the victory screen here, think of this like Xbox Live achievements or trophies. You have to get ticks in these boxes by a certain date. So by 1850, you want Manchester and Liverpool connected because it'll be the world's first railroad. So that's being historically accurate. And you want to be able to own 70% of your company. I currently only own 50. There's no competition. At least not, yeah, you kind of guessed I would use my own name, but that's just me being me. And, you know, little things you want to get done by 1922. Basically have all these particular cities connected, and obviously another historical accuracy, you want Mallard to own the world speed record for steam locomotion, which is 126 miles an hour, of which that fine engine still holds the record to this day. A little history lesson for you. So, I want to be able to start making my way up to Liverpool and Manchester. I like to keep the gradient at no grade because it's as smooth as possible. Right, let's make it easier on the engines per se, because the engine I'm using, which is circa 1828, as you can see here, you don't want to push the engines too hard, which is why I'm only using 3-passenger carts, or 3-passenger carriages, cars, you know, whichever you prefer. And I'll just go into a closer up view. Now, graphically, this game is not necessarily in the same vein as, say, Rail Fever, which came out a few years ago, but, you know, I think when Sid Meier did this, he wanted like a sort of, I don't know if caricature's the right word, but he wanted a slightly cartoony look. And, you know, I don't think it hurts the credibility of the game at all. It just makes it somewhat charming. You know, it's got its own little appeal to it. Now, this is a little quirk with me. I like to be able to not have too many other tracks interlinking with each other, just so that no trains in particular cross paths. I do know I'm hurting the engine's, you know, capabilities as it stands right now of what they can actually pull, but considering how quickly the engines actually upgrade themselves, you know, when you're able to upgrade them over time, it doesn't really become an issue so much, because some of the carriages upgrade themselves, some of them don't. And I'm just going to borrow some money here. This is just so I'm able to get things moving along. I really need to get that to move along. Right, now what I'm going to do, now my computer, bless it, I'm just going to call this Rail Play, because these are several games that I've done before, but for the purpose of this, I'm just going to save this as that. My computer has got a bit of a nasty habit of crashing whenever it so chooses. Maybe it's just a little quirk with it, I don't know. All I know is it's a little inconvenient at times, so yeah, make of that what you will. And there's a little thing that happens sometimes. You'll get these other little challenges that there's no specific time limit to them, but you get these little cash incentives. So you want to be able to get as many chemicals delivered to London, and you get some like 100 grand's worth for completing it. And it's like, okay, you got that done. Excellent. Just going to start laying the groundwork for little things. Whilst I'm here, get the next train going. Because this in turn actually helps your cash flow a little bit, because as you go further along, see all that lovely money coming in. Ain't it great? That one's still struggling, but again, you know, we are talking near the middle of the 19th century, so it's not quite Flying Scotsman, Mallard, Duchess of Hamilton, or even Tornado. For those that know your steam engines, I'm somewhat partial towards Tornado because that's the engine that got me interested in steam trains again. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Right, that one needs to kind of pick up the pace. Right, see what's going on over here. Now this is where things can really start getting more helpful, because if we note, now this one's going to be able to go at 40 miles an hour as opposed to the 30. So what I'm going to do now is update that engine, and I'm going to do the exact same here. And what you'll notice over time is you'll see these alerts flash up saying, oh, this engine has broken this speed record, and a specific name will come out to it, like the Cheltenham Express or the Salisbury Rocket or the Birmingham Bullet, you know, just a little nickname that, you know, right, for example, we go up to here. There you go, the Birmingham Comet, because that's broken the speed record. It even shows like a very, I don't know if it's sepia or sepia, the way they pronounce it, but you show like a sort of a snapshot of like the moment they broke the record, which I think is a nice touch, and we keep the momentum going. Now, I mentioned earlier, I like to try and keep the gradient at no grade, because you're not really getting it to go uphill, downhill, or anything. You just got it at a very smooth gradient, which in turn, you know, keeps the best speed possible. And I'm just going to save this again. And it comes saying, you know, it's already exists. Okay. There is probably an autosave function for this specifically, but me being the clueless klutz that I am, I just don't know where it is. Probably a little bit of laziness on my behalf. You know, I'll hold my hand up to that. Alright. That one's on its way. Okay, more money starting to flow in. Lovely. Another little thing you can do, which actually helps with the running of and the pace of how. See, if you see right here, it's real slow for passengers here. When you upgrade from a depot to a station, not only do you get a different architecture, you've actually increased the rate in which passengers and freight can be unloaded and offloaded. And I'm just going to go do the same with Norwich. Turn that from a depot into an actual station. Right. Okay. Now, if it's highlighted in red, it means you haven't got the money for it, as highlighted here. You know, lack of funds, what have you. And that is highlighting that, you know, funds are available for this now. So I'm just going to do that. Again, you want, from my experience, where it's saying no grade, you know, there's no bumps, there's nothing that's going to make it an unplayable experience. There goes my watch there. You know, where the engine is not going to have too much difficulty going over the line. It's not having to climb too high. It's not having to descend too low. And another one's just broken a record. Yay! And as we're seeing here, don't have the means to get that one upgraded just yet. And I'm going to save again because, again, my computer has this nasty habit of just crashing out of a game just as, you know, things are starting to get in a nice rhythm, which is annoying as all manners of fudge. But, you know, it is what it is. And at the moment... Oh, right. I can now open that station. And again, I'm going to get another train in that direction. Right, what we do... Again, is another thing... When a station is a depot, notice how it's taking a little while to actually fill up, and you'll notice a difference when the comet that's another thing. You can get these patents for various vehicles, amenities, and other bits and pieces. Now watch how quickly the comet unloads and loads up. Notice the difference? Now, let's head back over this way. I'm now going to connect up with Manchester. There we go. That's been completed more or less enough. Again, I apologize for doing it this way, but, you know, I actually want to be able to save all this work and not have to, you know, keep redoing this for, you know, technical reasons. Just need that money to bump up a little bit, and we're perfect. Now watch what happens here. Liverpudlians and Mancunians alike rejoice. Now thousands of citizens can all be late at once. Wonder if that was an actual quote. And as highlighted here, that's the first achievement, trophy, tick off the list, call it what you will. That's your first piece done. And I've now got just under 10 years to start making everything back. And I'm able to do one already. I now own 40% stock. Now, whilst we're waiting, let's start little things here. I find it's easier to get services to do more than just one station. It just makes things a little smoother. That, you know, don't take my word for it. I mean, you know, that's just how I've played things over time. Now I'm going to put an annex there. Careful where you place things like, you know, but like carveries or for farms, because it could do weird things to the actual track, which you'll see in a moment. Now, granted, that's just a minor alteration, but notice how the gradient's been slightly tweaked. Hindsight being what it is, I don't think it affects things too much, but depends how you like things. Alright, I'm just going to have a look at the back here. Right, when I get round to connecting that line up, I should be able to have a straight line that will come down here without going up too many hills, which just from my personal experience, it really does make a difference. Right, I'm noticing a lot there is starting to go ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Alright, let's add another track, and let's upgrade that one. Okay. There we go. Let's get the Bristol depot up and running. Alright. I've actually got this set on a somewhat easy mode, but as much as I like challenges, I like to be able to keep things going, if you get my meaning. Right. What I'm going to do now, connect Salisbury up with Portsmouth. Notice again how I'm keeping the gradient at and nothing. I just find that's much more pleasant to do. Okay. Yep, that appears to be doing as it needs to. I'm now going to connect the second line with appears to appears to be connected from what I can. Yep, looks it. Okay, because Norwich needs coal to convert into steel, so let's just do that. It's important, as you'll notice, when it actually gets to that station, because you're only delivering it, what you'll have is when it gets to there and unloads the coal, you just be going back with empty cart. So it's easier just to, once you've gotten there, it just goes back as a light engine and then comes back to, there you go. Can't see it too well. There we go. I'm just going to speed this along a little bit because this can get a little bit tedious. Now, even on, again, you know, you're dealing with technology from, with regards to the rails. You're dealing with technology that, oh, that's a little bit better. You're dealing with technology that's from the 19th century, so now we're actually at the station. You'll see exactly what I mean when it's just loading in for the coal. It's offloading. And once it's done, light engine, because, you know, why do you need to take back a load of empty stock, you know, when you don't need to? So that'll be that done, and then you set up for stuff to be delivered to Nottingham, because then they can take the steel and then make weapons out of it. Again, it's just a means of, you know, creating business, because look at all the money that's coming into there, which is always fun. Right, who needs... So I've set up a farm for beef, but no one really needs it at the moment. I'm just going to upgrade that to the Iron Duke, which is actually based on an actual steam locomotive, which was actually, I think it was a broad gauge engine from back in the day. I think the Didcot Railway Centre actually still have that. Comment section below. Chances are I've got it wrong and it's me, so yeah, kind of stands to reason. I'm not upgrading the other patentees that haven't broken a speed record because it gives the other engines a chance to actually set their own records, or to set the record straight, whichever term you prefer to use. And there we go. Let's see that nice money come in. Alright, this is where things are going to get a little bit complicated. Right, because I'm actually now going to set a bridge up. Hang on. Okay. Oh, no one broke a record. Oh, okay. That one's near Nottingham. Let's just see. Hang on. Oh, the Nottingham Special. Okay. Not a name I would have given, but, you know, that's just me for you. Whilst we're here. Right. Just get some... There we go. It's just for little things I'm going to set up for later. Alright. Hang on. No. 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 No, this might be a bit steep on the gradient a little bit, but... Looks okay. Right, I'm going to try and get the downhill gradient to... see, this is what I'm talking about. Sorry, folks. But yeah, it's a good start of, you know, what you can do on a game like that. Catch you in a bit.